Number 5 goes back again to that one of having. That once we realize that since I and the Father are one, and all that the Father hath is mine, from that moment on we have to make ways for that good to flow out from us. You see, just realizing that I and the Father are one and all the Father hath is mine may open out a way for us to experience all good, but there may be another step. It may be necessary for us consciously to open out ways for it to flow. Now, the Master has given us instructions in how that is to be done. In the 25th chapter of Matthew, he has told us to visit those in prison, to comfort those who are sick, to clothe those who are naked. In other words, in the 25th chapter of Matthew, he gives us service to our fellow man as one way of opening out a way. Then he tells us in other places to pray for our enemies. He says, it doth not profiteth us anything to pray for our friends, but that we must pray for our enemies. And we must forgive. We must forgive those who abuse us. We must forgive those who sin against us. We must forgive those who persecute us. Now, those are actual activities of consciousness that have to be gone through. Some of them are not easy, but that doesn't mean that they're any less necessary. They're absolutely necessary even if they're difficult. And so it is that in some way we must find a way to convince ourselves that all good is bottled up in us and that we have to let it flow. So whether we begin to serve our fellow man, because if you say that you love God whom you have not seen, do not love your fellow man whom you have seen, you are a liar. And so it is, we may have to begin with some service to our fellow man, whether it's that service of going to prison to help him, or going to the sick room to help him, or comforting the widow. Be sure it's not always the beautiful widows either. There are ways in which we can serve without actually accepting the belief that there is limitation in the world. In other words, we can serve those who appear to be limited in the sense of suffer to be so now, since they do not yet know of their divine inheritance. And aside from the serving comes the forgiveness, the praying for those who are not part of our own being.